How in the world are you supposed to keep up with your house and homeschool at the same time? That seems to be the question of the hour. It's an unspoken dilemma for all homeschool moms. Even if their home does look pristine and cleaned up and everything, it still is something that is on that mom's mind. So, no matter what you're facing when you look around your house, it is the question of the hour. And so, let's talk about how do you keep your house clean in the midst of all of the responsibilities of motherhood and home education.
Welcome to Little by Little Homeschool Podcast, where you'll learn tips and strategies that will empower you to home educate your children. I'm Leigh Nguyen, a homeschool mom of over 12 years, which includes 2 graduates. When I started homeschooling, I was pretty much on my own and was desperate for encouragement and help. My mission is to be a source of encouragement and help to you. Whether you are just beginning your homeschool journey or you're deep into the homeschool lifestyle, Little by Little Homeschool wants to help you stay the course because all the time you are investing into your children is completely worth it. If you're ready to take your homeschool to new levels, keep listening.
Some moms could care less about their home, but not you. How do I know that? Because you're here listening to this episode right now today. It doesn't matter the style of your home, the decor you have, or lack of, it just doesn't really matter. Any and all homes can be maintained and cleaned up. You can have a tidy home. Sure, dust and grime are going to accumulate from time to time, but it doesn't have to be the story of the majority of the time when you're living in your home. I have found for myself that I can function best when my house is neat. And that has ended up rubbing off on my husband and my children. And surprisingly, to my husband, with the house, he enjoys everything neat and clean, but don't tell him I told you this. His office, yeah, I kind of go in, I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, it's clean to a degree because I do what I can of dusting and vacuuming and mopping here and there, but it's a little overwhelming, but when he comes to the rest of the house, for some reason, he enjoys when it's neat and clean, and my kids as well. Now, yes, we can all function in chaos from time to time. There are sometimes just upheavals in the family, or there's vacation, or there's just a lot going on, and things aren't as cleaned up as they normally are, and we can function during that time. But overall, we have found that as a family and as individual people, we are much more productive. We has less stress and a bit more calmness in our home when our environment is kept up with, when things are cleaned up, when there is a place for everything and everything in its place. Most of the time, I like to add that part to it. But we have found that we can function best when it is like that. And I want to encourage you to also think about not just cleaning up for the sake of vanity or anything, but just the fact that your family can function better when there is maybe less stuff, when things are cleaned up, or also for you, when you're looking, you're saying, oh, that needs to be cleaned. Oh, I really need to clean the shower. That's really getting pretty gross. Imagine getting into the shower and finding, huh, it actually feels really good to take a shower when the shower is really good and scrubbed. And what if you actually kept up with that? I'm speaking to myself right there. The shower is one of the things that I do not enjoy cleaning, but I have found that it feels so much better when I maintain it. I also have teen and young adult. Well, they're both teens still right now, but teen boys, and whew, it can get pretty dirty and pretty grimy. So I have found that if I keep up with it, it's actually not that hard to clean when it comes time to clean it. But I've promised you some ideas. Are you ready for them? We're just gonna lay it all out here for you. The first thing I want to mention to you is that you have to carve out time daily for cleanup. And I'm going to say there's going to be a minimum of at least one time a day that you're cleaning up. Now, this isn't the nitty gritty. This isn't the dusting. This isn't the vacuuming. This isn't the mopping. This isn't the scrubbing. This isn't the wiping down or anything. This is just a minimum of at least at the end of the day, a cleanup session, getting the toys cleaned up, getting all the cushions put back onto the couch, getting things put away, getting the homeschool stuff maybe set back up and reset for the next day. It's maybe getting some bedrooms reset a little bit. Maybe you have a finished basement and there's a living room down there and just kind of getting that put back together. Whatever areas you have in your home, it's just getting the overall house put back together. And like I said, a minimum of at least once a day. And that minimum time is at the end of the day. Let's talk about what qualifies as the end of the day. If you have young children, you know that after dinner, it gets kind of sometimes to be like the witching hour. It's probably not a good time to get your family on board to getting things cleaned up. So I would highly recommend doing something maybe before dinner, or maybe while you're making dinner, they get to watch a show. And so you clean up before that and you have I guess you'd be dangling there like, "Hey, so we get things cleaned up and you can watch a show while I make dinner, and then we'll make dinner and we'll move into bath time and reading and heading to bed." Or maybe the evenings after dinner are just a little bit crazy with activities, and so it's better to get things cleaned up. So wherever you maybe classify the end of the day, when there is not going to be any more playing, there isn't going to be any more forts and tents and things being made with all the cushions from the couch, and when you do an end of the day cleanup, it's not a big deal when you do it every single day because you're just cleaning up from that day. And you might say, "Oh, Leigh, you have no idea the mess my kids can make." Yes, I do have a slight idea, but it's just that day's worth of mess. And maybe your kids will be more conscious of the mess that they make if they know that they are going to have to clean it up in a couple hours. That leads into assigning daily chores to family members. So, yes, this end of the day cleanup is everybody mom, dad, kids, whoever is at home is a part of that cleanup. And then assigning daily chores to certain family members. This will be based upon their age and their abilities. Maybe there is some taking turns of certain responsibilities, such as, say, emptying the dishwasher. One child might have that responsibility for an entire week, and then it moves on to the next child. Or you might just say, I only have one child that is capable of emptying the dishwasher, and that is their chore to do every single day because no one else is capable of doing it. But daily chores, maybe that's taking the dog out in the morning. Maybe that is feeding the dog, giving fresh water to the dog. Maybe it is taking care of some other pets. Or maybe it is wiping down counters at the end of the day, or doing a quick sweep underneath the kitchen table to get all of the crumbs, but just assigning daily chores to family members. Some family members are going to have the same exact chores, such as you need to make your bed, maybe fold up your pajamas, you need to put your towel away, those types of things where everybody is doing the same thing, but they're doing it to their thing, such as their bed, taking care of their towels in the bathroom. And when it comes to the actual cleaning of things, there are going to be daily chores. There might be things that you want cleaned every single day. Maybe you want the bathroom wiped down every single day, and that is assigned to somebody to do. And then maybe once a week, you do more of a deep clean of the bathroom. But decide if you want to do your cleaning, such as the dusting and the vacuuming and the wiping down and all of those things. Do you want to do it throughout the week? Or do you just want one big day where you're getting it all done? And this will really depend upon the season in life. I prefer for myself to do some of the things during the week. I don't want to do chores or some type of cleaning every single day. So I might have 2 or 3 days where I am doing a couple of things. But right now, in this season of life that I am in with this conference and planning, the past couple of months, I have found myself basically, I'm doing all of my cleaning one day on Saturday when I'm home. I haven't been able to take the opportunity to go and do anything else on Saturdays, unfortunately. So I'm hoping I'm rounding that corner that I can get to that point. However, I found that just having that one day is just what I need at right now at this season of life. And you might find that for yourself as well. You might have a lot of little children and say, you know what? I just need to do it all in one day. Maybe it's not even a Saturday. Maybe it's during the week and the kids are playing most of the time, maybe helping out with some things and you get a lot of cleaning done. Then it's nap time and you get a lot more done. But just decide if you want to do the cleaning throughout the week. Does that look like a little bit every single day? Is that 30 minutes every single day? Or is it 2 or 3 times a week and maybe an hour, hour and a half total throughout the day for each of those days? Make sure that you have your cleaning supplies available and handy. If you have to go around and you have to try to find your cleaning supplies in all different places, it's going to make it much more difficult and you probably are going to quit. I actually have a little caddy that I have all of my stuff for cleaning the bathroom. I simply take that and I can bring it into any bathroom. I could come to your bathroom. I could go to my neighbor's bathrooms and be able to clean their entire bathroom because I have everything that I need right there in that caddy. It might mean that you have duplicates of some things. I have some things that I use maybe scrub and clean up in the kitchen, and I also use them in the bathroom. I have my bathroom caddy, and then I have cleaning supplies underneath my kitchen sink. Because if I said to myself, oh, I have to go up and get my caddy that's in my linen closet to clean the kitchen sink, I probably am going to get distracted on my way there and then end up not cleaning my kitchen sink. So it's right there, very convenient for myself to do or anybody else in my family if I assign them that chore. So, how do you know what you need to get done? I highly recommend writing out a list and then you just keep repeating that list. Doesn't mean that everything has to happen every single week. Do you need to dust the cobwebs in the corner of the living room or in the dining room, the kitchen, whatever, every single week? Well, maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe you have a lot of spiders in your house. Or maybe it's not something you need to do very often. I don't have to do that very often. You probably don't either. But just writing out a list and then repeating that. So there are going to be some chores that don't need to happen on a very regular basis. But most chores, most cleaning in a home happens on a regular basis, just over and over and over again. You're like, I thought I just did that. Yep, I thought I just mopped the kitchen floor. Yes, you did. And you have to do it again. The tidy home is a way to show you how to create your rotation. It's how I've created my rotation, and it's how dozens of moms who have taken the tidy home course have created their rotation. Instead of you trying to come up with a list, I actually have a way for you to come up with that list where you're not having to brainstorm and think of different things. I've got it all there for you. When you follow it step by step, you'll come up with your list. And basically, it's just rinse and repeat every week, week after week after week. And I show you how to set up and incorporate some of those chores that don't happen every week. How do you fit them in? How do you get them? And what are some ideas for how often to do this different types of cleaning? So the tidy home is going to be your go-to. That is like the golden goose of how to keep up with everything. You can find details for that at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/tidy home. And the link is also going to be in the show notes for you. But another great time to include some cleanup is before bed, before you head to bed. Maybe the kids are in bed, or maybe they're reading quietly, or dad's putting them to bed, and you have some time. This is before you end up crashing at the end of the day just from utter and pure exhaustion. Put the phone aside, stay diligent, stay to your tasks, follow your list if you need to, if you need a list so that you don't get off course. Before bed, do another cleanup. Yes, you've done that cleanup with your family, but you know there's some things that they have missed. Make sure the kitchen is cleaned up. Make sure the counters are wiped down. You got the dishwasher set. The sink is emptied. You have maybe big dishes are put away, and your kitchen is ready to be shut down because you know that room has a lot of work that it needs to do the next day as well. But before bed, do a sweep. Just of not even with a broom, just you walking around, kind of putting some things back, maybe pillows back on the couch, pushing aside some toys to the outer rims of your living room or their playroom, but you just taking the time to get some things cleaned up from that day and then take it a step further and set yourself up for tomorrow. That homeschool stuff set up. Maybe take a look and what are you making for breakfast tomorrow morning? Do you have all the supplies for that? Maybe even it includes putting some dishes and putting some supplies out for that. Or maybe you're taking a field trip. You get everybody's shoes out and ready. You get backpacks or whatever it is you're going to need, making a lunch if you're going to need to bring it on your field trip, but setting yourself up for the next day. You know what you need to do. Stop and take some time. Get off the phone. I said it again. Get off the phone and stop scrolling Instagram and all the social media or playing the games and stuff and do that final cleanup and do a setup for tomorrow. Yourself tomorrow is going to thank you very much. If your house is just too overwhelming, you might want to step back and take a look and say, do I have too much stuff in my house? If you are constantly having to manage stuff, your stuff is pretty much ordering your day. It is controlling your life. And so when you reduce the things you have less that you have to manage, you have less you have to clean. It doesn't take me very long to dust because I don't have a lot of knickknacks anymore because I got tired of dusting them. And you don't have to necessarily dust a ton of little things. Maybe you're well, I guess the opposite of a minimalist is I've heard a maximalist, and that's okay too. Just understand that the more stuff you have, it's the more stuff you need to manage, the more stuff that you need to clean. And so you have to figure out that trade-off. Is it worth it? Maybe right now in this season of life, it's not worth it to be a maximalist and you tuck away, you store up and put some stuff aside so that you have less to clean. And so you're spending less time cleaning and you have more time for the things that you want to do with your family. One last thing I want to mention. is that keeping up with the chores, keeping up with the cleaning is so much easier than waiting until mom freaks out, until you absolutely lose it on everybody because the house is a mess, things are dirty, your feet are sticking to the floor and you thought you just mopped yesterday and now you got to do it again today and all the things. Let me give you an example. When I got pretty lazy about things, let's do an example specifically about my refrigerator. When I was like, "Okay, you have got to get back onto your system." It took me to clean my refrigerator probably about an hour. It was pretty gross. Now I do it on a monthly rotation. So about every 4 weeks, I get my refrigerator cleaned. And you know what? It takes me maybe 10 minutes, 15 at the most, because I also know that it's something that I'm going to have to do soon. And so if I start to notice that there's things in there that are kind of getting a little bit gross, I will throw things out as the month goes along. But when it comes to just cleaning it that one time, it's super easy. All I have to do is take off one shelf and take out one shelf of things and clean it up and reorganize things. And it does not take me very long at all. That goes with everything. Like I mentioned earlier, the shower. When I keep up with it, it's not a big deal. It might take me 15 minutes to clean it. Whereas if I don't, it's gonna take me a lot more than that, and it's gonna be super frustrating, and it's also gonna be super gross if I wait that long. So just remember that keeping up is much easier than waiting until mom flips out. And this is where the tidy home comes into play because you get to keep up with it. The best thing about the tidy home is that it helps you to eliminate the decisions, all of the decisions that you are making every single day about every little thing. So it eliminates that decision fatigue because you know exactly what you need to accomplish that week. It also eliminates the fact that you no longer have to just lose it or flip out when it comes to your home. You're not going to get to that point where the house is an absolute disaster. Now, though, again, there's going to be seasons and things that come up. There's going to be health issues. There's going to be things that are going to come up and the tiny home actually shows you how to get back on course when things do go awry. But overall, when just day in and day out, just kind of smooth sailing, you don't have to get at that point where you are just pushed over the edge and you flip out on everybody because the house is a mess, it's a disaster, and you can't think and you can't function anymore. Let's take a moment and not get to that point. And that's what the tiny home is going to do for you. So check out the link in the show notes as well as, or you can go to littlebylittlehomeschool.com/tidy home. That is the hub for everything. So let's eliminate all that decision fatigue and let's no longer get to the point of losing it over a messy house. And I just really hope that all of these things that I just mentioned really do help you out. And again, when you're ready to take things to the next level, I'll see you in the tidy home.
Thank you for listening, friend. I'd love to connect with you more. You can find social media links in the show notes and share this episode with a friend who could use a boost to her homeschool. See you back here real soon.